let's start coming up with maybe some exceptions, right? I mean, some of the stuff is pretty straightforward, but there's going to be times when you're going to come across some weird types of transactions, and you've got to have an understanding about how to handle those things. So one of the items that comes up is, and these are kind of these are kind of revenue issues. Let's call it that. Revenue issues, potential revenue issues. Potential revenue recognition issues. Okay? So, for example, what if you had non-refundable fees, right? So let's think about non-refundable fees. Right? Taken up front. So an example of this might be, I just joined a gym and I have to pay an initiation fee. Okay. Do I get to recognize that revenue when I collect the fee? It's not refundable. I've got the money. Let's take a look. Let's go through our revenue recognition. Let's bring this back up. So we've identified a contract with a customer. They paid us a non-refundable fee to become a member. So the initiation fee is one thing, right? So they've entered into this contract. They pay us an initiation fee, and then they'll also pay us monthly usage fees. And they might pay us a annual locker fee. Okay? So maybe that's part of the contract, right? So the contract is I go in, sign, give them this non-refundable fee, pledge to pay my monthly usage fees, and I buy a locker, right? So that might be the contract for the gym, right? So what are my performance obligations? Well, my performance obligations are this gym initiation fee lets them in the door. This monthly usage fee allows them to use the facilities. And this annual locker fee is you get a chance to have a place to store your stuff, and you get a lock and whatever you need, right? So the performance obligations are going to be, well, I'm going to let you in the door. You have use of the facility, so my performance obligation is to allow you to come in every day, as long as you want, and use the facilities. And then the locker fee is you pay this, maybe it's annually, and you have access to this locker throughout the period of time. And also non-refundable, and then this is month to month. So we've at least identified what the performance obligations are within the contract. We determine a transaction price. Well, the monthly fee is the monthly fee. Each one is identified, right? So it's not just one fee. We can say the initiation fee was, say, $500. The monthly fees were $30. And the locker fee was $200. Okay, that's for per year, per month, lifetime, right? Initiation fee, you only have to pay that one time. It's not refundable, and you can keep being a member of the gym forever, okay? So we've identified the price, and each one is separate, right? It's not just one price. And so we've determined what the transaction price, and we've made sure we've allocated that transaction price to the performance obligations related to it. Okay. So now we got to recognize revenue when the performance obligation is satisfied. So we can take a look at this situation and we can probably take care of these two first. Right? So the monthly usage fee, I can recognize the revenue when the month comes, right? Because I've identified that they have access to this. They're going to use it for the month. It's whether they use it or not, I'm still going to collect that $30. So the month comes along. They have their card. They can use it. No problem. So I can recognize that revenue for that month right away. How about the annual locker fee? Well, this is per year. So they have access to this locker for the entire year. I can't recognize this revenue all up front because I haven't satisfied my performance obligation because it's for the entire year. So I'm going to have to spread out this 200 over the entire year. So when I come to the first month, I can only recognize 1/12 of this 200 because I haven't satisfied the full performance obligation. I got to make this locker available to them for the year. So here I get to recognize 100% for the month. Here I recognize 1/12. And then this gets tricky, this gym initiation fee. Because this is an initiation fee that grants you access to this institution for the life. So this $500, you can't recognize that right up front. You can't recognize that in a year. You have to recognize that over the life of the customer. That seems harsh. Well, it is. I don't have to sit there and run or estimate how long you're going to live. The lifetime may be the lifetime of the membership. So for this one, I may end up having, right? So let's take a look. I might have to estimate the typical length of a member. When I say length of being a member, right? The length of being a member, how long, time. And then given this estimate, I can take that estimate, right? So maybe I've been doing this for years, and people who sign up for gym memberships, on average, will keep their gym membership for maybe 3 years. Right, on average. And I have data to support this, right? This is data driven. Then this $500, I'm going to recognize over the life of the member as a member. So this $500 doesn't get recognized up front. It has to be spread out over 3 years. So I'm only going to recognize 1/36. Three years times 12 months, right? So every month I'm going to recognize 1/36 of this $500. Right? That's tricky, right? This is a little bit tricky. So I've got 3 different performance obligations that require 3 different types of calculations of revenue recognition.